comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right.
Hello, Fortitude audience. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Heather Kittleson, and I am your host of Fortitude Podcast, and I am sitting here with my husband, Amos.
Hi.
You're so lovely.
Nice to see you too.
Oh, you'd think we see each other more. And we have Jill Miller in our podcast studio today from Sioux City, but kind of a little live in Nashville as well. I feel like you're a Nashville star, man.
Well, I go there a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For so many awesome reasons that we are going to fill our audience in today.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We met almost 4 years. I want to say it's 3 years ago. 4 years. Well, we're just going to say 3. It was my very first speaking gig, and I met a mutual friend of yours.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I am so grateful. She said, you have to meet Jill and Laura from Sioux City,
Right.
who do a conference called Choose.
Yes.
And here we are 3 years later.
I know.
And it's an honor
that.
to know you.
It's an honor to know you. I love those God winks. I've had a lot of those in my years in ministry, and it's always just the way things weave together. It's nothing but God's hand.
Yeah. I call it the webbing or a spider web, even though I don't like spiders. It's like just it's so delicate and so intentionally designed the way they do it. And like God is so intentional.
He is.
So Jill, your story, who you are, all of it, there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of
life. I'm old.
Crosshairs. You're not old.
I'm old.
And I want our audience to hear it all. I really do.
Okay.
So tell us just a little bit of who you are today and what you're up to, because you have a lot going on now, but then I want to go back and we're gonna just let you just roll with whatever the Holy Spirit is leading you to tell us today.
Awesome. So what I've been up to today, I just released my 8th CD. It's called Run Towards Love. So I'm a singer-songwriter and speaker, and started this project. It's been a long project in the making, but I'm excited about it. So released that in May. It's been a different release because I'm in a different season. Mm-hmm. God has kind of had me in a season of silence, sacred silence, I'm kind of calling it, and not touring and doing all the things I've been doing. We can talk about that, but just been in a different season. And it's been interesting to release music in this market today that's so digital. So music is so different than it used to be. But that's where I'm at. Just released my 8th project. I write all the time and do go to Nashville. I haven't even been to Nashville this year yet. That is the first year. I usually go 6-8 times a year, spend a lot of time there. And God's had me in a season of just being still and letting.
It's October. It's
October.
And you haven't been all year?
I haven't been.
Wow.
First time. Maybe I went in January. I was trying to think back. I think I maybe went in January. But I'm writing with all my friends. We're doing it via Zoom.
Okay.
It's just been a season. I've had 3 grandkids within the last years, and we had 3 boys get married in 10 months. Just a lot of family life stuff happening, and it's just been God calling me to a different season. So he's been growing me a lot spiritually, and kind of some new projects that are on the horizon that he's preparing me for. And they all involve music, and excited for what's going to happen. But yeah, God's journey is just so different sometimes than when I first started going to Nashville, I was going to get a country cut that was going to then, pave the way financially for me to do Christian music. Well, it's been the exact opposite. I hardly write country anymore, and I write pretty much all Christian. So, yeah.
Man, I love how you said sacred silence.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot, just those 2 words.
It does. And I'm a doer. This is why I think God had to have me in this place, because I've always been an overachiever, people pleaser, very, very, very busy.
Yeah.
That's been my entire life. And God has had to slow me down. And I have been kicking and screaming. And
it's painful.
Laura and I felt at the beginning of January that God was asking us to take a sort of a sabbatical from the ministry, just to kind of have him speak into our hearts and where he wanted us to take it. And he's done that now, and we're going to get going again. But let me tell you, not being on the go and being on the road all the time and my schedule dictating my life has been a totally different thing. And God has just done an incredible work in this different space for me, because it's literally the first time in my life that I just haven't been so crazy busy and traveling and going from one thing to the next constantly. So
it's fun. It's hard, but it's so... It is a beautiful time. It really is.
It is.
Because I went through it.
When you let it be beautiful.
Yeah.
But I've fought it a lot on the way.
Do you think, going back to Jill, because we have so many different moldings of ourselves, right?
Yes.
And if we got into a great conversation when we very first met about our similarities with having dealt with alcoholism, and not you in particular, but you were on the Al-Anon side.
Yes.
And you were living in survival.
Yes.
For quite some time.
Right.
It doesn't go away unless you really work on it. So when you talk about being busy, or you talk about moving at a fast pace, those of us that have come from addiction, it tends to be our tendency.
Well, and it kind of covered up what was really going on for me. I figured out my busyness was just covering how unhappy I was in my marriage and in so many situations. And I just covered it by being busy. And that was when I was going through Al-Anon, and I'd been through Al-Anon. I'm working the steps, but I still just hid some of those feelings by being too busy. That's my go-to.
And we don't want to feel. I mean, that's
right.
If you stay busy, then you don't have to stop and think and
exactly
you're like,
process.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
let's keep going.
Yeah.
That is. Yep, I recognize that when you said this to be busy, because then you slow down. You're like, oh, I gotta think.
Yeah,
I gotta do that. Oh shoot! And then I gotta think about all the wrongs and the guilt.
Was that busyness? Was it impulsive? Did it include a lot of being impulsive, or was it very intentional?
It was pretty intentional. I've always had just this sense. I love my mom to death, but she was, just expected a lot. And I'm the youngest of 6. I don't know if I just felt pressure to perform. Yeah. But I've literally been a performer my entire life. I grew up there's 6 in my family, 5 girls and 1 boy. And 5 of us girls sang. So I literally joined my sisters performing when I was in kindergarten, and we were part of a little local variety group. So, and it sounds funny, but that performing led to performance everywhere in my life. Yeah. And that gave me my love for music, and it's a beautiful gift, but it got me on this track so it was very intentional. I had very high, lofty goals. I had one goal all through high school. I started writing music in junior high and performed my first song at a school talent show. And I had the lead in the school musical. I was involved in everything musical, but performing my first original song was like, I was literally shaking because it's like you're sharing your soul, right? So, but I just always had this goal. I was going to go to Nashville when I graduated, sing on the Grand Ole Opry, because my dad loved country music. That was my only goal. I didn't think about any college, nothing. Then I met my first husband, and he lived in Sioux City, had a family-owned business, and everything changed. I stayed home. He went through treatment shortly after we were together, and everything changed. My whole life changed from that point on. And I kept my toe in music and always dreamed of doing music more full time, but it was just not in the cards for him and I. He was pretty controlling and didn't like me doing too much of that. So yeah, the old codependent stuff that you just don't even realize what a hold it has on you, right? But no, so it was very intentional. I wasn't impulsive that way. It's more I had big goals.
Yeah, if you have goals, then you have lenses to look through, don't you, to help you filter out things that don't get you to that goal, which is different than being impulsive and just doing something and creating more chaos in your life because you just said, you say yes to everything.
But I did start getting into that when you say that because I am an overachiever and I could handling projects. Like I was the capital campaign chair for the Siouxland Humane Society new building project. So I chaired that. I did things like that got me strokes and that people-pleasing side. So it did become a little bit impulsive that way because I said yes to too much because people would ask you once you raise $2.5 million for an organization, oh, can you help us? And can you do this? Can you do that? And you got strokes that my little fragile ego needed.
Sound familiar, Amos?
No.
Oh, Jill, you and I, man. I don't want to gloss over going back a little bit to the things that you have overcome. Because you may be a high achiever and all of that, but through all, like, you think about the high intensity that you're in, you also are going through a lot of your personal struggles. And to get through those, you normally just do that. You try to just go through, just run, run, and sometimes running away from them. And did you like Christian all your life? Did you grow up with Christianity in your home? Okay, that's what I thought. Yes. And so your love for the Lord now and your relationship with Jesus is beautiful. It's in your music. It's all over you, your glow. And when you go on stages and you speak to women about overcoming, you're speaking about infertility, adoption, divorce, financial struggles, marital infidelity, and loss. Just one of those is hard. And you have overcome and worked through all of those.
You know, that's where the depth of your faith comes, though. And I have to say, when you say all of those, for me personally, the biggest was probably my infertility because it didn't end with the happy story of me getting pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Because I was watching all my friends have babies and I had that faith of, that you can say to this mountain, move from here to there. I was a believer and believing for that. And God said no. Sometimes God says no. It's not going to happen the way you want it to, right? But it was a beautiful yes because we ended up adopting our first son, and everyone kept telling me, just adopt and then we'll get pregnant because you're trying too hard. I heard that so many times, and that was probably the hardest thing people said to me. But
So don't say that to people.
Please don't. Please don't. And you don't mean to be mean. I know that people meant it. Sure. You mean well, but for me, it put that it was something wrong with me again. Physically, there's something wrong with me, obviously.
And you're trying too hard.
And I'm trying too hard. And it's my emotions that are getting in the way. So worked through all that, but there was such a beautiful moment in that I want to share with the listeners because we adopted our first son, went through some more stuff, and I had a lot of pain, physical pain, and just a lot of physical things I went through with my infertility, trying to get pregnant, surgeries and procedures and medications. It was a 10-year journey that ended in, we adopted our second son, and shortly after that, the doctors were like, you can't put this off anymore. You have to have a hysterectomy physically and for your health. So I'm facing this hysterectomy, and one of my good Christian friends said, I am taking your kids. You got to go get okay with God because there's no miracle. I kept praying, thinking, well, it's just going to be a miracle, right?
Yeah.
All my other friends who went through infertility, they all got pregnant. And so my one really good friend said, I am taking your kids. You're going to go sit with God and get right with this. And this was my first experience of really wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, wrestling with God. So I went down by the river and sat on this big rock, and and just had it out with God. And I shook my fist, and I was so mad because Sam, my youngest, his birth mom was 13. And I'm like, okay, God, this is not fair, right? All the things, and just and got real with God. And I'd been real with God. I'd been through codependency treatment. I'd done the 12 steps, done my 4th and 5th, number of times. And I'd been real, but this was a different real, because this was a hurt that it was so, so deep in me, and just so disappointed that no was my answer. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Right. And
had you heard no, or you just knew the answer was no because it hadn't happened?
Yeah. Just getting the no, the physical no. And like, now I'm having a hysterectomy tomorrow. So this is a no. This is no. And I knew I had to have it, right? But there was just that fight in my spirit. And so I went down to the river and I did what she said, and I shook my fist and I got so mad. And then I just started crying. Like, I didn't think you could cry that much. I mean, but it was so beautiful. At the end of this time, I am sitting on this rock and I had my arms wrapped around my legs and I was just rocking back and forth. And all of a sudden I had this overwhelming sense God was rocking me. He was holding me. I get goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
He was holding me and rocking me, and he just whispered, "I'm sorry." And that was what I heard. I'm sorry.
Oh.
But I knew I had a peace. I had such a peace, and I know for whatever reason, it's God's will that maybe I was going to die. I don't know what, but it was a no, and I'm okay with it. And it's a sadness. I wanted to I'm the youngest of all these girls. My sisters were, pregnant all the time, and I was enamored with pregnancy. I never forget my first sister being pregnant, and I would touch her stomach all the time. I think it's the most beautiful thing. But you know what? I get to view it through a different lens.
Yeah.
People that have had babies, it's maybe not as glamorous, and it's obviously it's something you go through. But I was just that way, and God just released that in me and gave me a beautiful gift of sometimes his no is okay, because he's with us in the no.
When you were shaking your fist and shouting at God, did you have any reservations about how you felt and the things that you were saying?
I did at first, but it was so raw and so real that I let it go.
I guess that's what I mean. Like,
I couldn't hold it back. I was just like, I'm mad.
Yeah.
This is unfair. And
that's okay, right?
That's okay.
Yeah. So like if someone's hearing this and thinking, I'm mad too.
Right.
He's the God of the universe.
Exactly.
He can take it. It's not like you're the first person to yell at him.
Well, Jesus cried out on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me? That really went through my head. God gave me that gift. It's like, yes, I just think God wants us real, because that realness led me to wholeness I would never have if I wouldn't have done that. And that's part of why we talked before we went on that I went to the chapel outside of Omaha when my first husband left me after 21 years of marriage. And I was devastated then. And that was more just going there again, just crying out and spending time with him and being real. Like, I'm lost here. I don't know what to do. How do I get through this? And God met me there again. It's those being real to me is what we have to do with God. I mean, it's what causes good friendships and how you relate to someone. Like, we related on a real level.
Yeah.
And that's what God desires. Yes. He wants that, whether good or bad. Like, don't try to sugarcoat it in front of God.
No.
He knows us. He knows every hair on our head. So why do we try to pretend like I'm not mad? I'm mad. Like, that's unfair. And it's okay. And he can heal it when we're real. But if we try to cover it with our busyness and all the other things we do, I think that's when we don't get that healing.
I picture God like Jesus with his arms up, and he's just taking punches. And he takes them over and over and over. And he says, I still love you. Doesn't he?
He does.
And when you're done punching and throwing swings, he goes, all right, ready to hug it out?
Yeah, exactly. That's a beautiful image. Yes. Yeah.
The Chosen season 5, I just watched the last episode of that where Jesus is in the garden. He's crying out and he's like, I can't endure this. And yet he does. Okay. All right, God. Like, okay, Father. Oh man, I was bawling in my bathroom too, just thinking about, you got to watch it. You just got to watch it. I can't even, it's such an incredible series. But Jill, what you just spoke of was not only feeling forgotten, feeling abandoned. And then you spoke of your husband of 21 years. I think you mentioned infidelity. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then left after 21 years. There's
for a younger woman, that always makes it even better,
great.
of course.
That's great.
It's all good. It's all good.
There's some things, I mean, just the rejection, abandonment, so many deep seated.
Right.
And we're both in women's ministry. We're both speakers. We both hear the stories.
Right.
We both, I have a dear friend I'm walking through infertility. Her and her husband want to get pregnant so bad and not losing hope in it. Rightfully so. Like, it's just, there's so many different things that can break us, but it didn't break you.
Right.
It made you stronger.
It made me way stronger. And on the other side of it, even like my divorce led me to a wonderful, godly man who 2 months after we got married, I quit my real job and started going to Nashville because he knew that music is what I'm called to do. So, I mean, God just redeems the most broken situations. Yes.
He does.
And he makes them so much better. So much better.
Even when we don't get it, even in the moments, even when we're shaking our fists and we're crying out.
Yep.
In that. In those moments, I can't tell people enough, like, don't lose hope.
Right.
Look at it differently. Look at it as, this is not working against me. This is working for me.
Right.
And I'm going to learn something through this.
Right.
And I'm going to be stronger and build a new brick. There's a new brick that's going up on my foundation that I'm going to be able to speak to and teach and help others in all those really despairing moments.
And that's where we grow.
For you.
We don't grow in the mountaintops.
No.
Because we think we got it all together. Yeah, we're good. It's in those valleys that God grows us. And it's so much beauty in the ashes, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
And so you're a grandma now of 3.
I am.
Right? So you've witnessed your 3 beautiful sons that are adopted.
Well, I have 4. I have 2 sons of mine that are adopted. And then I have 2 stepsons. So
that's what it is.
Yes, John had. So we have 4 boys.
4 total.
And we have 3.
You are a boy mom.
I am.
Really are.
Yeah, we finally got a girl. I have a granddaughter. So yeah.
So being a part of that, what was that like for you too? Like, just...
It was scary at first because John's first wife left him as well and pretty much left the kids. So he had his kids pretty much full time, and I had my kids pretty much full time. So joining this, and one was teenage. Well, actually, 3 of them were teenagers. Well, almost teen, 12 and 15, and then 10. So, joining that age was scary. Like, we're moving into his house, and it's a small house, and, will they like me, and how do I discipline? Yeah, being a stepmom was scary, but it was exciting, and it just was right. I don't know how to explain it, but like, when you know that you know that you know. One of my counselors always said that to me.
My dad.
When you know that you know that you know. And that's just what it felt like. It just felt right and good, and I have a son, my oldest son is on the Asperger's spectrum, and he really needed structure. And John, my husband, is that structure. He's an ex-rodeo cowboy. It's black, it's white. When I say it, I mean it. He's that kind of guy. And that's what Christopher needed. And so it was just like, it was beautiful. It was just beautiful. But it was scary. It had its moments. I mean, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
So for all the listeners too, that are going through or have gone through divorce, and they're like, I just don't feel like there's anyone out there for me.
Right.
I keep hearing that over and over, that people are losing hope. And I will say, like, don't, I got mine. Like, God has someone.
Oh,
and
mine was in a furniture store. So go furniture shopping.
Just go shopping.
Just go shopping.
Just look around.
Yeah.
Actually, look up and look people in the eye. You just never know when your soul's going to meet
that's
that one.
True. That's so true.
I tried to avoid Amos, and God was like, oh, no. Because to be adored is something that, and that's what it sounds like, that he saw you. He really saw Jill.
Yes.
And your passion.
Right.
And even if there was some hurt and brokenness and tenderness that needed to be healed, he was all in on that.
He was.
That's how
100%.
Amos,
Yeah. It's beautiful when you have that special. Yeah. It's just so beautiful. And there was just no question because we were dating and I had read A Purpose-Driven Life during my first marriage.
Great book.
Yes. And I knew then I heard God's whisper that I should do music and do it like full time, like really pursue music. But it just wouldn't work with my first husband.
Yeah.
Just a lot of issues going on. And so I read that book, and that's part of what I did in the chapel was go through that book and really ask God, what is my purpose? What do you want me to do? And this time God was like yelling in my ear, music. And so when John and I were dating and then got engaged, I said, I just have to tell you, God is really putting in my heart that I'm supposed to do music. And he's like, okay, well, we'll pray about it. And when it's time, quit your job and let's do it. Well, 2 months after we got married, that's what I did. I mean, that is someone who believes in you and he's a godly man and wanted God to use me. He knew that that's the way God wanted to use me. And we've found a way to make it work. Man. And it hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it.
That's amazing. I look at Heather as a beautiful butterfly. And shame on me if I put her in a jar or keep her under a lid or under the house. Like she's a butterfly, and people deserve to see that. I bet you John saw that same thing
exactly
and wanted to nurture that.
Yes, he did. He's just like, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, good for him.
And our wings are a little tethered.
They are,
right?
Very tethered.
And that's the most beautiful part of it is that, like Amos saw the big beautiful butterfly with really. Oh, that just hit hard.
And butterfly is my thing. That's my thing. That's the theme of my ministry is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one of the challenges for us as men is to sometimes the butterfly flies towards the flame.
That's the moth.
Because there's some stuff there. There's some baggage there. There's some things you went through. And as men, we're protectors and and preventative. And sometimes it's like, or try, hey, go this way, go right, because there's danger ahead, But the truth is, as hard as that it is, it's with the best intentions.
That's so funny you say that because I was traveling so much at first and on planes, and my husband's like super, now be aware of your surroundings and don't do this and do this. And I trust everyone. And at first it really drove me crazy because I am pretty naive and just trust it too much. But he's taught me like, okay, I do need to be more aware. And now I totally am, but he's so wanting to protect.
It's a beautiful thing when you put those two things together and you rely and you let each other in, and let each other help, like focus on your strengths and not your weaknesses.
Exactly.
Let the other person lift you up, make you better because they're better at these things.
Right.
It's not like at that point, it's not 1 person plus 1 person equals 2. That's like 1 plus 1 equals 10. And it's a beautiful thing that you get out of that.
That's so true. That's so true. Because I did need to get a little more aware. So,
well, you're a learned spirit. That's another thing that I really enjoy about you is even you and Laura, which those of you who are listening to Jill now, Laura's episode will also be coming up. But you both are John Maxwell certified. Is that correct?
We are. Yes.
One of our favorites. Love
Great
teaching John Maxwell. And
we should mention who John Maxwell is.
Oh, sure. A lot of it. Actually, I was surprised that some people don't know John Maxwell.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Over half the people I mentioned John Maxwell to, they say who?
Wow.
And I say, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Number 1 leadership dude in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Country and world.
Literally number 1?
Well, he was. That's when I went through training, isn't that? Yeah, like number 1 leader. Actually in the world. Okay. Like he's got worldwide leadership stuff.
How would
he's
you
global.
characterize John?
Well, he's an ex-pastor, so he's very faith-driven, and he's just very practical.
Chill.
Chill. He's so chill, practical. Yeah. He's just amazing. He's so good to sit under live because like at the certifications he teaches, and he's so empowering and he's real.
Yeah.
He makes it like where people can really do it. You can put it into practice.
It's wise.
That's what I like about him. Very wise. Yeah. Very wise.
I would, this might be, but like you think of Billy Graham from an evangelist, beautiful global, how many lives. And I think of John Maxwell as in like the leadership development, the kind of that corridor or that pillar of he has changed a lot of lives and has led a lot of people, not only to Christ, but in just really firm foundational leadership skills.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you've never, I guess, known anything that he's done, there's how many books? Hundreds?
Oh, hundreds. Yeah. I think 140 or something.
How do you even?
So being certified means that you are an extension of John, that you can come in and teach
we went under his training and went through the stuff to be a speaker. And I've done life coaching too as well. Not doing that as much. Kind of got off. That's where one of those little tangents I took, and God is like,
the shiny
back
objects.
to music. Get back to music, Jill. And doing ministry with Laura has been amazing. That's just a God thing. That's how we really came together. We met on a plane when I was flying to Nashville. Actually, flying to Nashville, going to do a Christmas show at the Franklin Theater. And I took Jeff's bag and he had mine. And I would have been really in a lot of trouble if I would have, her husband Jeff's bag, if I would have been in Nashville without
You had Jeff's bag, Laura's husband's bag?
Yes, I accidentally took it on when you gate check.
Yeah.
Because we flew from Sioux City to Chicago and they were flying on somewhere and I was going to Nashville. And I grabbed Jeff's bag instead of mine. Luckily, I had my tag in it so he could call me and say, hey, I think you have my bag.
Oh.
And I had gowns for like the Christmas show.
I was just gonna say,
it's like, oh my goodness, that
probably
would have been
wasn't
a nightmare.
Jeff's size.
Yeah, and that's what he said. I'm pretty sure your clothes wouldn't fit me. And then we met a month later. So that was in January. Then we met a month later in Orlando at the John Maxwell certification training. And that's when we started talking. And all of a sudden we're like, hey, because that's when I was really dying doing ministry by myself.
Yep.
Because I'm a people person. And so we started talking and sharing where she had a ministry under her sister's legacy called Choose Joy. And we started talking about that and said, let's do this together. We'll call it Choose. And that's been a beautiful thing.
You are a beautiful partner. Like the two of you together is really special.
It's a God-given.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a gift.
Even if Jeff about wore a gown to get there, I mean, it's really cool how God brought the two of you together.
It is.
And you have done an event in Sioux City called Choose, right? Is it just called Choose?
Well, we've had different themes every year. One year it was Choose Love, one it was Choose Hope, and one Choose to Keep Going, but all under the Choose identity. Yeah.
And how many years have you done that?
We did it 3 years. We took a break we took a break this last year, but yes, we had 800 women the year before show up. So it's shopping with different local vendors, and then we put on a 2-hour program.
Yeah.
As part of the day. Yeah.
I've heard great things about it. Such joy has come out of those events. Women love opportunities to come together and build community and laugh. And
they do.
They do. And it's a lot of work.
It is. And ours is a little bit different because of the music piece. So we have a lot of original music. I brought up different people from Nashville and used local people so it has a big music piece, which makes it a little bit different from other women's events too. And then the speaking piece as well. But yeah, it's been really fun.
Rightfully so, with the music piece, right?
Well, it makes it different. It makes it fun.
It's the music, that being your background and your passion. And
right.
There's music music does something so special. We, even last night, we have a group of youth that we get together with, and my good friend Alicia, that's helping lead it with me and her husband, she hadn't sang yet for the kids, and they're juniors and seniors. And we're like, who's heard Alicia's voice? And 4 people raise their hand out of the 9. We're like, 5 of you have not heard her. It's like when God gives you an angelic voice, you can feel the Spirit just descend into your soul through the tones. Yeah. And Amos loves music. He's got a great voice, and our daughter has a good voice. So it's
that's awesome.
It just does something so different that speaking can't do.
It touches where words can't.
Tender.
And it's amazing the things that happen through music as well. Even in my little world of what I do, just like one woman wanted to have breakfast with me, and a song I wrote that I didn't think was that great. It's on my very first project. She said that song, she was going to commit suicide. She had a plan. She had a note almost written, and she kept listening to that song, and God just spoke through that song and said, you can't hurt yourself. It was called The Power of Love. And I'm like, wow.
Whoa.
Those kind of things. And then I had someone reach out this summer about the music at an event that had really gotten her out of a very deep pit. And it's just those things that you don't even know how God is using it.
Yeah.
But it touches a different part of your soul. And I'm just blessed and so grateful that God gave me the gift of music and has brought people into my life like Laura to be able to keep going forward and not be alone in it. And he provides what we need. I think that's the story of, I wanted to share a verse because I ran across this the other day. This is from the Passion Translation, which is a newer translation. Love it. And we do this exercise called psalming. A lot of my songwriter friends, we go through the Psalms and we just maybe make up what a melody David would have maybe put to this psalm. And it's amazing what can happen because a lot of really cool songs have come out of that. But we use the Passion Translation because it's very singable. But I ran across this as God opened my Bible to it the other day from Psalm 55. It says, "So here's what I've learned through it all. Leave all your cares and anxieties at the feet of the Lord, and measureless grace will strengthen you." And I feel like that has been the story of my life. Leave it at the feet of the Lord, whether it's good, bad, ugly, something you're struggling with, but measureless grace will strengthen you. And the last line of that verse says, "My life's hope and trust is in you, and you'll never fail to rescue me." And that's just what I feel like God has done throughout every piece of my story. He just, when we lay it at his feet, he just gives us that measureless grace. Love it. So
I agree. People ask me what's your policy in life, for like cancellation policy or rescheduling policy, right? Because people can get pretty upset about that. I'm like, endless grace. We all have stuff. Everybody's moving in so many different directions. And I believe in God's timing for everything.
Exactly.
And so it's when people, what's your policy on this? Nothing but endless grace. Like when it happens, it happens. He'll make a way. He'll make a way. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. And it was Psalm 55, you said?
Yes, Psalm 55.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who has been your favorite? And I don't know that you can have favorites, but I'm going to ask you to. That musician that you've worked with that our audience may know, and why?
That I've worked with. Well, they probably won't know most of them because I'm mostly with songwriters and then musicians that are like Jimmy Nichols is my producer, and we've written a bunch of stuff, and he's made a bunch of really cool connections for me in Nashville. He was the musical director and keyboard player for Faith Hill and then Reba McEntire both, and he's just I met him through, talk about circumstances. He lived in South Sioux City, Nebraska for a while, had a little studio there that someone made for him. And I recorded there with a group I was in from my church called Celebrate. When I was married to my first husband, played and sang with them, and they did my original songs. It was like my little outlet. So met Jimmy all those years back, and then so he's been very powerful. But Rachel Barentine is another one. Talk about connections. I met her through a really weird way doing a benefit concert for Partners for Patriots, which is a local group that provides service animals, dogs, for wounded vets. And my son is a Marine, so have a heart for that. Performed at this benefit concert, and she says, "Oh, you need to meet this friend of mine, Randy Dorman. He plays for Kenny Rogers, blah, blah, blah." She just moved up from Nashville to take care of her parents, and I'll connect you. Usually people don't. You're like, yeah, whatever, never hear from you. Well, she did. Randy and his wife, Annie, reached out to me. We did a Zoom. Next time I went to Nashville, had dinner with them. They're like my family now.
Oh, cool.
So, and I ended up getting her into treatment. Didn't know this. She was a closet user. And I came back from singing at a Celebrate Recovery, and I went from Arizona to Nashville. And so I'm at their house after just having been in Arizona and talking about Celebrate Recovery. She didn't know about it. anyway, she ends up going to the Celebrate Recovery at their church, gets sober. And it was so cool. And one night, Rachel Barentine is singing at their Celebrate Recovery, and Randy just felt this stir in his heart that he needs to have us meet. And he went up to her and said, I don't know why, but I feel like you need to connect with this friend of mine, Jill. She comes from Sioux City, blah, blah, blah. So next time I was in Nashville, he set up a co-write for the three of us. And we are at Randy's house. The co-write was at his house. And after the write, we wrote this really cool, fun song together. And afterwards, Rachel goes, I've had this idea to write a song for each of the steps in 12-step recovery. And I've just been praying about who I should write it with. I think it's you. And I'm like,
yes.
hallelujah. So we wrote a song, project called 12. It's wrote a song for each of the 12 steps.
That's what you gave me.
Yes. And we got funding in 15 minutes from a local hospital to do. I mean, the whole thing is just a God story. Yeah. That's how Rachel and I met. And yeah. And then she had this idea and we did it and God provided a way. And I mean, there's so many stories like that God, when you're willing to be
I was just going to say
used,
that. Yeah. Take chances.
Take chances.
It may
say yes.
feel wild. It will feel crazy, but introduce yourself to people. Ask for introductions.
And follow the Holy Spirit,
And
though.
yes.
Have your heart open and listen and obey.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to, because your whole life you have done that. So that is a really good way to say, thank you, Jill, for really pushing through, following what God has called you to do and blessing so many people on this planet. You just think of the lives you've changed. When you get to heaven, it'll be really beautiful for that moment. God says, look at what you did with your obedience, and the whole place is going to light up, and everyone better be sitting with some popcorn for at least 3 days, because it's going to be just a beautiful movie and production of what you've accomplished here.
Well, yours as well, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jill.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much for listening. We want to change lives through this podcast. And if you want to support this podcast or our guests, please see the links below for our Patreon and giving links.
And like and subscribe, and also share our podcast as much as possible. Thank you.